This guitar right here is a Charvel DK-24, and we're going to change the strings on it. I got this guitar from Mike Tempesta at Charvel when I was gearing up to sub for Joel Hoekstra on the Cher dates. Joel was using a Phil Collen model, Charvel Phil Collen model, and I knew the guitar because I had played it because Joel had it at Rock of Ages as well. 24 fret, hum single hum, so there's like always a pickup in the way of your picking, and has a Staniac on it, and Joel was using 11s in standard tuning on Fender scale guitar, and there's a certain amount of, it's the guitar that was meant to be used for the feature, the big guitar feature, and so I knew that that was going to be challenging. So I ordered this to ostensibly to practice so that I could use Joel's guitar when I went in. And I went in on a put-in rehearsal like a week before I did my first date, and I played Joel's guitar, and I realized that with the 11s and the way it was set up and everything, I was never going to be comfortable enough on that guitar. So I had this one, I'd been practicing on it, and then I just kind of goosed it up with some stuff. I swapped out the pickups, I put FU tone brass block in there, did the titanium inserts, I chromed up some of this stuff. I probably should have gotten a nickel or chrome Floyd, but I didn't do that. I just wanted some brightness down here. Anyway, it's a great guitar, so I'm going to use it for a video, and I figured I'd change the strings. First thing I'm going to do, because it's a Floyd, a floating Floyd, I'm going to use a trick that Bill Hudson showed me. Bill Hudson plays for Doro Pesh and a bunch of other acts, which is he uses a Sharpie, because you can always find a Sharpie when you're on tour, and you block off the bridge with the Sharpie. So now you can change the strings however you want, because they're not, makes the guitar out of tune, but it's fine. We're going to use the Dario 10s, 10 to 46. No NYXL, no coding, just standard XL. And I always put these things on my Floyds. I like those. It's great. That way you've always got it handy. And I'll do these two at a time. I like to take these right off. Take that piece right off. Let it hang out. I had a Floyd Rose Strat for many years, and one of the things I really liked about that Strat that this doesn't have is it had the center hole tuners, the ones where the hole goes straight down the middle of the shaft, and I'll probably do a string change on that at some point in the near future, but right now I'll do this. These guys going. I started using titanium blocks in all of my Floyds after my original Floyd Rose Strat, the one that I used in the Kitaro tours. I wanted to use it. I brought it to use on a symphonic music of Queen date, and when I changed the strings, one of the blocks broke right in there, and I had to take it to a local shop on a Saturday in like Dayton, Ohio, and the guy let me to the bench. I asked him if he had extra block. All he had was, he had an old Ibanez bridge, and so we stole one of the blocks out of that. And then he let me go behind the bench and like tap the block out of my bridge, and he basically let me fix my guitar in his store. which I thought was pretty funny. I'm taking a risk here because I actually do this one at a time most typically. But I'm doing it two at a time because I'm using Bill's Sharpie trick. And yeah, I don't change guitars on my Floyds that often. I don't change strings on a Floyd that often. Oh, this is embarrassing. Okay, it's fine. Another thing that I've done over the years is I've actually loosened one of the screws on this and like let it, move it out of the way for this activity, because it really is in the way. And you don't really need to do much with the winds, but I'll do my over-under. My main tech for years put the just strings them with the ball end through the tuner, which is something I would never do myself. But it's all about whatever makes my tech's day easier, goes better. So I don't really have a problem with it. I just would never do it that way myself. Partly because, as I said, my original guitar was one where it was a split shaft tuner. So you just, you need a bare end in order to go down the middle of the shaft, And I don't know what it does to it. What it really does to have that. I remember we used to joke that, like, if you did it that way, then, the winds are going the wrong way down the string and would adversely affect the tone in some way. I thought that was funny. Building myths. Building guitar myths. Let's see if I can do this the way I want to do it. I'm going to do the over-under. I come around, right, get the over, and then 6 in line is so good. I love my Gibsons, but I love what my 6 in line is for changing strings. Thank you, Leo Fender. Thank you, Leo Fender, for 6 in line. Okay. So once I got that, I can put this back on. Keeps me from getting confused about them. Let's get this guy off of here. Kind of just cut myself there on the end of one of these strings. I kind of wonder, since I played this on stage with Cher, what it might be worth to sell it. I don't really understand that whole fan culture side of things. I mean, obviously she's a legend, so just having played with her was monumental in my life. And she's a great person, great performer. But yeah, the like what to what length the fans are. I think the fans that are like really into that kind of stuff are more into clothes than they would be into like this guitar that did, you know, 3 shows. But you never know. Might come a time. From a look standpoint, you know, I've used this on a couple of other occasions. Some of the Rock of Ages affiliated stuff. This is kind of cool to have out. But most of the rock gigs that I do are Gibson gigs. You know, more often playing a Gibson. I have the Jackson Adrian Smith that I bring out on the TSO. This wouldn't be that great on the TSO stage, I don't think. Just not the vibe. This is the Dinky body shape, which I don't think they call it that anymore because that's like a Jackson thing, and this is a Charvel. I don't know if they call it like SoCal 2 or something. But I'll always think of it as the Dinky, except for that, you know, it's what the Warren DeMartini models are, right? They're this body shape, which we always, when I was, you know, in my teens and this came out, we were all listening to this music, we thought of it as just a downsized Strat, but Dinky, right? But I heard Warren DeMartini talking about it in an interview, and he referred to it as having a Tele cut, and I thought that was really interesting way to describe it. And I think what he means is the lower cutaway is more similar to a Telecaster than it is to a Stratocaster cutaway. And when I look at it, I was like, yeah, that's kind of true. The upper cutaway doesn't have anything to do with Telecaster. It's still cool. It's downsized. I'm not that tall a person, so I kind of like it, you know. But I'm more used to seeing a picture of myself with a regular Strat, so then it does kind of look small compared to a regular Strat. Built for speed, the Charvel. My first good guitar was a Charvel, so I have a real fondness for the brand. My first, it was a Charvel San Dimas black with kind of cream colored binding, 2 humbuckers, Fender headstock, you know, pre lawsuit, the real deal. And I found, once I was kind of gigging, it just, I thought it sounded kind of snappy or something. There's just a sound to it that I decided I was not partial to. And I sold it to a very nice guy named Todd Mills, who kind of loves those guitars. I think he was collecting them, and right now he's guitar tech for Jude Gold in Starship. Shout out to Todd, taking care of my old Charvel. This has the very, very reminiscent neck to that. This is a great guitar. Okay. And last two. What am I doing? Get this back. What else? The Phil Collins that Joel was playing was more blue, it was the chlorine burst. And I guess I could have gotten that. That's on a strat style body, not the Dinky body. But I figured this purple was close enough. And a little darker. And I remember it left an impression. Like the first day I showed up, the musical director they were just like, man, that guitar sounds great. So there you go. That's the reaction you want, you know. That is the reaction you want. And you know, when they say your guitar sounds great, what they're really saying is that you sound great. You know, you gotta take the compliment. It's the fisherman, not the rod. You know what I'm saying? So I went through a whole phase of like upgrading my Floyds. Adam Reaver at FU Tone, awesome guy. But also the guys at Floyd Rose. I think I have a couple of tungsten blocks in my Fenders, and then these brass ones are great from Adam. You know, it's a whole thing. You take a deep dive on it for a while, and then you just gotta cool out and play. You can only let yourself get distracted with customizing your gear for so long before you've just become a tech. There got to be this maximum density over changing pickups. Like I was getting into trying different pickups and things, and then I would go to change them myself because my guy here, like, he turns stuff around for me really quickly. It's awesome, but you're just like, oh, it just came in the mail at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Let me throw it in the guitar tonight. You get all ambitious about it. And and I would always mess it up. And then the guitar was unusable until I took it back to Anthony and get him to swap the pickup out. So I got more patient and just take the guitars to Anthony and let him swap the pickups out. And then I became a lot less adventurous about ordering pickups and swapping them out at the drop of a hat. It's an expensive habit. Adds up. Okay, got one of these. I don't use these on stage. That's on principle. But I use them for this purpose. It's amazing how close I got. Except here. It's about high E.
Well, right now I'm thinking the Sharpie trick worked okay, but we'll see how long I'm stuck here in this kind of no man's land of figuring out how to get a floating Floyd to come to pitch. I don't think it's going to be that bad. I wish I could lock the aspect ratio on this tuner. It keeps going backwards on me. I forgot to do this. See, these are all kind of low, so I'm actually going to take them back to... You know, I do think I swapped out this entire bridge. I think it was like a 1000 series, and I just swapped the whole thing out because... but now that in retrospect, and I've heard from other people, like the main thing about the 1000 series that comes on a lot of these guitars is that the fine tuners just aren't lubed, but they're just really hard to turn. And so like all you have to do is get some WD-40 and, you know, pull them out, soak them, and then spray them down. And then wipe them down. And you saw that. Pick a direction. Lock them in. And check them again. Now, I know smart folks out there are going to say it won't be in tune once you sit it up. And you're right. Oh yeah, cool thing about this guitar is this the way this jack comes in. I really like that. Which I think I heard that like a product manager from Ibanez had like left Ibanez and joined Charvel at this time. That's where some of these design choices came from. But let's see what we got. It has like, it does a coil tap, like, you know, position 4 is single coil. This is both single coils. It's supposed to be like your stratty. you strat out a phase thing. This is a single coil over here. Which is great guitar, Charvel DK-24, and thanks to Bill Hudson for the Sharpie trick. Try it. You'll always see a Sharpie around when you're on tour, so it's a great way to block off a floating Floyd, so that you're not, it's just kind of abusive to do to the pull pieces, to the knife edges and everything, to have if you want to change all 6, you could do it that way. That's a full shred in a 59 or jazz, I think. And yeah, still a great guitar. I'm gonna use it for a little YouTube lesson. So thanks for checking it out. I'll see you soon. For these string changing videos, because I'm setting up here away from my computer, I got the nice folks at Xvive to send me this little stereo recorder, which has been working great. It's super easy to use. I barely know how to use it, and I managed to successfully make a recording. And for where it's just me talking in the room, it's nice to have stereo, and the mics sound good and natural, and it holds a ton of, it's got a ton of memory on it. It's got a micro SD card here in the side. And so when I import the footage, I just do a second importing the audio and sync it all up. And it's been working great. So there you go. Thanks, Xvive.